So our boy Tokita Arima is pretty much just giving out the Niko style techniques at this point, even offering to teach Cosmo some in this chapter here, and will most likely continue to do so as the story goes on. Is this confidence in his own power where it doesn't really matter if he teaches people Niko style techniques, they won't really be any match for him in some regard? Or is it just Arima not caring whatsoever at this point? Let me know down below. But we get revealed that Koga has mastered 3 Niko style techniques so far. The first one we saw last week with the redirection kata Weeping Willow, and we got to see the Adamante kata Iron Breaker here. The third one will most likely come out next week with the, I guess, climax week fight against Leonardo Silva, with him using that to get out of the hold at the end of the chapter here. But the question now is, which technique will Koga's last one be? A big one a lot of people will be thinking about straight away is of course the advance, considering that in some instances it does kind of make a little explosion when it comes out. That could be a way for Koga to, push off Silva. But Arima actually teaching Koga to advance is very unlikely for many reasons. Firstly, the dangers of it. I don't think he would want to pass it down to anyone. We don't know whether Arima actually knows how to give people the advance. And if I had to place my bet, I would say no. If we look at Arima's flashback back in Kengan Ashura, the Tiger Niko seems to be the only one who knows how to give it. Arima's Niko was able to stop it in a similar way to how Niko had given it to him, but for what we've been shown, Arima shouldn't know how to give it to other people unless he's learned over recent time skips. So no, I don't think it's going to be the advance. So far he has shown one technique from the Adamante kata and the redirection kata. That leaves us with the flame and water kata. Since the water kata was used by Arima to deal with Cosmo's grappling back in Ashura, I think a water kata technique could come out and could be key to Koga getting out of Silver's hold here. But it could very well just be another redirection or Adamante kata technique that he decides to use. Or the flame kata as well. But once again, let me know down below what technique specifically you think Koga could pull out regarding the Niko style. A reminder that there's all these techniques here, and probably even more we haven't actually seen yet. In this chapter as well, Arima also states that Koga is a way quicker learner than him, and that he's got a good eye. So does that mean Koga has more potential than even the likes of Arima? Most likely he is, the protagonist of Kengan Omega. I've accepted the fact that Koga's just going to get everyone's assistance at this point, as we once again get to see with him talking to Lu Dongshen. We were told previously that he was trained by Lu Dong. Recently it was revealed that he was trained by Carlos a little bit. Now Arima and everyone else prior. I may make a dedicated video just going over everyone who's actually trained Koga at this point. But in this chapter as well, we get to see Garuki and Kiryu, with Roki also mentioning that the Kengan Association is still on the hunt for Kiryu. That is pretty interesting. That hadn't really been mentioned outright at any point. I'm glad that finally got clarified. Kiryu just can't walk in the open really anywhere, and if he was to really confront Arima or anything like that, that would most likely result in Arima attacking him and a fight to break out, or Kiryu to actually reveal himself to anyone who actually knows who he is. But Garuki has faith in, of course, Koga winning, as he is going to be the one to defeat Koga in the second round, which would be kind of funny if Koga was to lose this fight and then Roki was to lose his fight against Adam as well. That would be pretty funny and a big twist Sandovich could pull, but as expected from the end of the chapter here, Koga's going to pull out the third Niko style technique that he's mastered and get out of Silver's hold, and then most likely win the fight. But Silver's been pretty impressive so far. We learned in this chapter from Kazi about Silver that he's very talented when it comes to striking, but he doesn't use them for the purpose of throwing strikes, for the sole purpose of parrying, with Cosmo even stating that he's one hell of a ground grappler. So maybe a future fight between him and Cosmo could be an interesting battle, or maybe him against someone like Okubo. And one more thing regarding Kiryu, he's still kind of fixated on Arima quite a bit, as we learned quite a few chapters ago now. He's trying to make Roki the new god that's going to surpass the original Arima. But in this chapter here, he says this: Arima, your ... you taught Koga his techniques. Of course, his techniques referring to his Niko's techniques, or maybe even the Niko's techniques. last week I forgot to talk about Shenwu Long and how he's aware of Koga's connection to Joji. That was pretty interesting, and how he may just be having fun watching the fights, but he could be there for some other motives that we don't currently fully know about. So definitely look out for Shenwu Long. Kuroki's also in the arena now. All these people are around the connector who he could potentially fight, and if he was to fight any of them, that could be absolutely madness. I'm personally waiting for him to fight the likes of Kuroki. Kuroki hasn't done anything in Omega yet. Him fighting him, even if it's just a quick exchange or just them two walking past one another, could be a very intense and exciting chapter. But that's pretty much everything for Kengan Omega chapter 176. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to check out all the other stuff in the description. Shout out to the mad lads who support the channel via the Patreon. But yep, that's it guys. Peace.